Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into how to turn your marketing from a game of chance into a powerful, predictable science. We're talking about ditching the guesswork and using real, hard data to fuel actual, measurable growth. All right, let's get right into it.
So let me ask you, does this feel familiar? You're pouring money and effort into campaigns, creating all this content, but you're not 100% sure what's really working or why it's working. It can feel like you're just throwing stuff at a wall and hoping something sticks. And that feeling, that uncertainty, it's a massive headache for so many businesses. But the good news is, there's a clear way out of the dark.
And that way out, that solution, is what we call a data-driven approach. Now, this isn't just another buzzword. It's a total game changer. It's about fundamentally shifting how you make decisions, moving from gut feelings to genuine insights, and from guesswork to, well, growth.
So what do we actually mean when we say data-driven? Honestly, it's pretty simple. It's about swapping your hunches for cold, hard evidence. You're using the information you already have about how your customers behave to make smarter decisions, ensuring every single marketing dollar is working as hard as it possibly can for you. So, what's in it for you? Well, the first and maybe the most important benefit is a huge boost to your return on investment, right? When you use data, you're not just shouting into the void, you're targeting the right people with the right message at the right time. Think about it. No more wasting your budget on audiences who are never going to be interested anyway. Second, you get to know your audience on a completely different level. Seriously, analyzing data gives you this incredible window into what your customers actually need, what they want, and what they expect from you. And that kind of insight, it doesn't just improve your marketing, it can help transform your entire business.
And finally, benefit number 3, you get to constantly optimize everything. See, data-driven marketing isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's a live, dynamic process. You can watch how your campaigns are doing in real time and make tweaks on the fly to make sure they're always performing at their absolute best.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? And I get it, it can sound complicated, but it's not. We can break it all down into a really clear, actionable roadmap. So let's walk through a simple 6-step blueprint that you can start using pretty much today. So here's the game plan, the 6 core pillars. We start by defining our goals. Then, we build a solid brand foundation. After that, we collect the data we need and slice it up to segment our audience. Then, we use those insights to optimize our campaigns. And finally, we get into that crucial ongoing cycle of monitoring and refining. Let's break each one down.
First things first, you can't know if you've won the race if you never defined a finish line, right? Before you even glance at a spreadsheet, you need crystal clear goals. And not just any goals. We're talking SMART goals. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. What are you actually trying to do? Get more traffic? Boost sales by 10%? Be specific. This goal is going to be your North Star.
Now, step 2 might feel a little disconnected from data, but trust me, it is absolutely essential. Think of your brand as the control in a science experiment. If your logo, your colors, and your messaging are all over the place, how can you tell if your new ad is working? You can't. A strong, consistent brand is the foundation for clean, reliable data.
Okay, this is where the magic really starts to happen. Step 3 is all about gathering your raw materials, the data itself. And you've got tons of tools to do this. You can use Google Analytics to see what people are doing on your website. You can pull insights from your social media pages, or you can go old school and just ask your customers directly with surveys. Every click, every view, every comment, it's all a clue.
Now, here's a really important thing to remember. You can't talk to all your customers in the exact same way. It just doesn't work. That's why step 4, segmentation, is so powerful. It's about grouping your audience so you can send them messages that are way more tailored and effective. You can group them by demographics, like age and location, or by their behavior, like what they bought before. You can even get into psychographics, their interests and values. This is how you stop shouting at a crowd and start having real conversations.
All right, so you've got your data, you've got your audience segments. Now for the really fun part. Step 5 is where you put it all to work. This is where data turns into actual results. You can do things like A/B testing to figure out which headline gets more clicks, or you can create super personalized content that speaks directly to what a specific group of people cares about. And finally, we have step 6. But here's the thing. It's not really the end of the road. It's a continuous loop. You have to constantly monitor your key metrics to understand what's hitting the mark and what's falling flat. Are people clicking on your stuff? That's your click-through rate. Are they actually buying?
That's your conversion rate. Are they leaving your site right away? That's your bounce rate. You have to watch, learn, and then refine over and over again.
Okay, so that's the blueprint, that's the theory. But what does this stuff actually look like in the real world? Let's talk results and check out some tangible examples of how this blueprint delivers some serious, measurable impact.
So let's start with this number right here, 30%. I mean, wow, a 30% jump in performance? That's the kind of result that makes everyone in the room sit up and pay close attention.
And what did it come from? Well, there was this finance company that got really smart. They dove deep into their data and figured out exactly which keywords were the most profitable for their paid ad campaigns. By focusing their budget only on what was proven to work, they boosted their return on investment by that incredible 30%. That's the power of targeted spending.
Okay, how about another one? A 20% lift in conversions. Just take a second and think about what a 20% increase in actual sales would mean for your business. It's huge.
This result came from an e-commerce brand that did something really clever, but also really simple. They just used behavioral data. Specifically, they saw who was adding items to their cart but not checking out, and then they created retargeting ads to gently remind those people to come back. That one simple, data-informed strategy drove that 20% boost.
Now, as powerful as those examples are, believe it or not, we are really just scratching the surface here. The whole world of data is changing so fast, and technology is pushing the limits of what we thought was possible. So, what's next?
Well, the future is incredibly exciting. We're already seeing AI and machine learning being used for predictive analytics, which is basically telling you what's going to happen, not just what did happen. Marketing is getting hyper-personalized, like in real time. Plus, we're getting all this new data from things like voice search and smart home devices. Of course, this also means that data privacy and using all this information ethically is going to be more critical than ever before.
So it all boils down to this. What used to be a nice-to-have, something that only the big companies with huge budgets could do, has now become a flat-out requirement for any business that wants to survive and grow. If you're not using data to make decisions, you're not just guessing, you're getting left behind.
And with that, I want to leave you with one final thought, kind of like a little piece of homework. Looking at your business right now, what is the single most important question that your data could answer for you? Just start there. Find that question, and you'll be well on your way. Thanks for tuning in.